clean oil finds, Guyana is poised to become one of the leading petroleum producers in the world. In this edition of InfoHub In-Depth, we take a look at the country's lead up to first oil.
Are you ready to embark on a truly epic adventure to an undiscovered corner of South America, where some of the most spectacular natural attractions are unveiled within a beautifully diverse landscape? From the wetlands and savannas to the ancient mountains, magnificent waterways and lush enriching rainforest would provide a vast playground for some of the most exotic and breathtaking creatures on the planet, including many of the world's giant species. This untouched land of mystery and wonder serves up an exclusive experience for travelers. So are you ready for a new, awe-inspiring adventure? Welcome back to nature. Welcome to Guyana.
In an address to the nation on December 20, 2019, President David Granger announced that oil production commenced 3 months ahead of the originally scheduled date. The head of state also declared December 20 as National Petroleum Day, which will serve as a reminder of the duty to protect the country's patrimony and to ensure the sustainable management of the finite hydrocarbon resources.
Petroleum production will be a transformative process in the country's economic development. The petroleum sector will stimulate increased employment and expand services. Your government will unveil a decade of development, 2020 to 2029, aimed at ensuring that petroleum resources will be utilized to provide the good life for all.
Oil production commenced on the Liza Destiny, Guyana's first floating production, storage, and offloading vessel. The country's first floating production, storage, and offloading vessel arrived in Guyana's waters weeks ahead of its estimated time after traveling nearly 11,000 nautical miles from the Capel shipyard in Singapore. Speaking at a welcoming reception for the arrival of the Liza Destiny in September, First Lady Mrs. Sandra Granger stated that Guyana's first FPSO will benefit all Guyanese.
And I would like to hope for the Liza Destiny, the partners and the crew, that it will bring us all the good things we anticipate. Not only the profits and return of investment for the Exxon and its partners, but also for the people of Guyana, and in particular our children, a better quality of life, sustainable development, and everything from which good oil will flow.
In his remarks to the gathering, Director of the Department of Energy, Dr. Mark Bino, said that the arrival of the Liza Destiny represents a historic milestone for Guyana.
Guyana is about to experience a tectonic shift in its development trajectory. The discovery of significant oil offshore the country's shores since 2015 by Esso Exploration and Production Guyana Limited and its joint venture partners Hess Guyana Exploration Limited and Sinop Petroleum Guyana Limited, estimated at more than 6 billion barrels of oil equivalent to date, is expected to be the main catalyst for this transformation.
Rod Henson, president of Esso Exploration and Production Guyana Limited, echoed similar sentiments.
The arrival of the Liza Destiny is a historic event, and first oil will mark a turning point in Guyana's history, ushering in a future of enormous potential. Now that will mean something different to each person in Guyana, just as each person's destiny is different.
From May 2015 to date, there have been 18 oil discoveries in Guyana's waters. U.S. oil giant ExxonMobil and Tullow Oil plc have been making headway. The discoveries push the nation's estimated recoverable resource far beyond initial expectations. Let's now look at Guyana's petroleum exploration throughout the years. Guyana has a history of petroleum exploration. In 1916, 3 exploration wells were drilled in the Winey area of the Northwest District by Nelson Cannon. Gas and pitch were recorded in one of those wells. In 1926, a well was drilled on the west coast of Berbice at the Bad Sugar Estate. The gas recovered there was utilized for decades at that location for domestic purposes. In the 1950s, there was a flurry of requests to search and drill for oil in offshore Guyana, but all efforts to locate oil were either unsuccessful or stalled. The search for oil was revived in 1981 when the then government announced plans to establish a National Petroleum Corporation to supervise oil exploration and development. But with sugar standing out as the standard bearer for the Guyanese economy, then bauxite that came later, the enthusiasm for the search for oil was not there. A decades-long search for oil offshore Guyana would finally yield success with ExxonMobil Corporation reporting a significant oil discovery in 2015. ExxonMobil initiated their oil and gas exploration in Guyana in 2008 in the Stabroek Block, which is located 193 kilometers offshore. The company made its first major announcement of oil discovery at the Liza-1 in May 2015. ExxonMobil's press release explained the well was spud on March 5, 2015. The well is first on a 6.6 million acre Stabroek block and drilled to 17,825 feet. The well encounters more than 295 feet of high-quality oil-bearing sandstone reservoir. The well data was analyzed in preceding months to better determine the full resource potential. ExxonMobil later announced to the public that 450 million barrels of oil is expected to be produced from the Liza-1. However, soon, the drilling of another well confirmed that Guyana's oil reserve is even larger than believed. In June 2016, ExxonMobil's drilling resulted in the Liza-2 well, the second exploration well in the Stabroek Block. It was confirmed a world-class discovery with a recoverable resource of between 800 million and 1.5 billion oil-equivalent barrels. Less than 6 months after the second major oil announcement, Exxon moved its Stena Carron drillship to test Payara, the third prospect of the Stabroek Block. In January 2017, the oil giant announced that high-quality oil-bearing sandstone reservoirs were found at Payara 1. It was reported that the company encountered more than 295 feet of high-quality oil-bearing sandstone reservoirs, which was safely drilled to 17,825 feet in 5,719 feet of water. These three developments meant that the country would be producing more than 500,000 barrels of oil per day, moving Guyana well ahead of the industry average. Drilling of the Snook well, Exxon's fourth well, commenced on February 22, 2017, where 82 feet of high-quality oil-bearing sandstone reservoirs were encountered. The Snook well is located in the southern portion of the Stabroek Block, approximately 5 miles to the southeast of the Liza-1 discovery. Country manager of ExxonMobil, Rod Henson, disclosed that the find represents only a fraction of the Liza field.
No, Liza-1 was the discovery well, and since then we've drilled Liza-2, Liza-3, and Liza-4, which helped us appraise and understand the size of the accumulation, the size of the field. So then phase 1, we will drill, it's going to include 17 wells actually, and it will help develop part, not all, but part of the Liza field.
In October 2017, ExxonMobil announced its fifth major oil find in the Stabroek Block at the Turbo well. Esso Exploration and Production Guyana Limited, an affiliate of ExxonMobil, commenced drilling at the Turbo 1 well on August 14, 2017. On September 29, 2017, a reservoir of 75 feet of high-quality oil-bearing sandstone in the primary objective was encountered. The fifth well is located in the southeastern portion of the Stabroek Block. The Ranger 1 well, the sixth oil find, was announced in January 2018. Adding to the discoveries at Liza, Payara, Snook, Liza Deep, and Turbo, which were estimated to total more than 3.2 billion recoverable oil-equivalent barrels. Drilling began in November 2017, and the well was sunk to a depth of 21,161 feet in 8,973 feet of water, with 230 feet of high-quality oil-bearing carbonate reservoir encountered. Minister of Natural Resources, the Honorable Raphael Trotman, described this sixth find as a most historic discovery for Guyana. He added that Guyana can expect immense transformational development in the coming years. Minister Trotman also expressed confidence that the country is on the right path and assured that the government remains focused towards achieving first oil and beyond in the most efficient manner. Following the completion of the Ranger 1 well exploration, the Stena Carron drillship made its way to the Pecora prospect, located 4 miles from the Payara discovery, where it began drilling on January 29, 2018, just days after major oil was announced at the Ranger 1 well. Pecora, Guyana's 7th oil discovery offshore, was announced 1 month after drilling exploration commenced. The well, which was drilled to 18,363 feet depth in 6,781 feet, recorded a high-quality oil-bearing sandstone reservoir of 65 feet. Following this major discovery, the government of Guyana announced that a Department of Energy will be established to focus solely on the development of the petroleum sector. In August 2018, Dr. Mark Bino was appointed head of the Department of Energy, with Matthew Wilkes being appointed oil and gas advisor.
2018 proved to be an extraordinary year for oil production in Guyana's waters, as ExxonMobil announced 3 more oil finds before the end of the year.
On June 20, 2018, ExxonMobil announced that it had struck oil for the 8th time at the Longtail 1 exploration well, some 5 miles west of the Turbo 1 well. Country manager of ExxonMobil, Rod Henson, explained the significance of this discovery.
This is in the southeast part of the block. It's very close to our recent Turbo discovery as well. So it simply adds to the potential for a development in another area outside the Liza area.
That very day, ExxonMobil announced it will be continuing exploration 9 miles south of the Liza 1 at Hammerhead 1. Henson explained that the company will be doing further exploration in the fields to determine its resource worth.
Yeah, so we've had 8 discoveries so far, and in many of those discoveries, we've only had 1 well in some of these fields, like Ranger, like Longtail, Snook, or whatnot. And so we really need to learn more about either drill more wells or have more time to evaluate, to narrow the range of resource recoverable in each individual field. But because we know there's a lot of interest, we really wanted to get some more data out there. So based on what we know today, we're comfortable to say that it's at least 4 billion barrels if you look at the whole thing total.
Henson added that the company remains bullish on exploration as the recoverable resource in the Stabroek Block increases.
We're quite bullish to continue exploring, to work with the government to evaluate this resource, and that's why we're confident enough to bring in a second exploration drill ship.
2 months later, on August 30, Exxon announced its 9th discovery of approximately 197 feet of high-quality oil-bearing sandstone reservoir.
The U.S. oil giant announced its 10th discovery offshore Guyana on December 3, 2018. The discovery was made at the Pluma 1 well, increasing the estimated recoverable resource for the Stabroek Block to more than 5 billion oil equivalent barrels. Director of the Department of Energy, Dr. Mark Bino, said this could see Guyana being able to produce more than 750,000 barrels of oil daily by 2025. He also said the recent discovery places Guyana in the position to forge ahead as a petro-development state.
2019 kicked off with a great start, with Exxon making its 11th and 12th well discoveries. Tilapia 1 and Haimara 1 were discovered in the Turbo area of the Stabroek Block.
The Tilapia 1 discovery encountered approximately 93 meters of high-quality oil-bearing sandstone reservoir and was drilled at a depth of 5,800 meters in about 2,000 meters of water. The well is located approximately 5.5 kilometers west of the Longtail 1 well. The Haimara 1 well is located approximately 31 kilometers east of the Pluma 1 discovery. It encountered about 63 meters of high-quality gas condensate-bearing sandstone reservoir. The well was drilled to a depth of about 5,600 meters in nearly 1,400 meters of water. Following the discoveries, Dr. Bino pointed out that the pace of Guyana's oil and gas production is the fastest that has ever been done to date.
There are no alternative facts. There is only the fact and the truth. And what we have seen from the time of exploration to the time of production is the fastest it has ever been in the industry worldwide. So Guyana is taking 5 years from exploration to production, which has never happened before. What does that tell us? We have to be turbocharging. We have to be enhancing our efforts even greater. We do not have the luxury of time on our side.
This was seconded by Oil and Gas Advisor to the Energy Department, Matthew Wilkes.
The pace of development in Guyana is incredibly fast. And I know there's a lot of frustration about opportunities coming forward. But as Mark says, the pace of exploration, discoveries and moving forward into production is unprecedented worldwide. So everyone is in a catch-up mode.
According to reports, the successes of ExxonMobil in oil exploration here in Guyana has positioned the country to possibly surpass oil production in Mexico and Venezuela. In April, the U.S. oil giant made its 13th discovery offshore Guyana at the Yellowtail-1 well.
Dr. Bino said that Guyana continues to receive positive news with the announcement of these oil finds offshore, noting that the real substance of these finds will accrue when citizens are able to benefit directly or indirectly from these discoveries. Yellowtail-1 is the third discovery for 2019 and represents the fifth discovery in the Turbo area, where ExxonMobil is evaluating its potential as an additional development hub. The well encountered approximately 292 feet of high-quality oil-bearing sandstone reservoir and was drilled to a depth of 18,445 feet in 6,046 feet of water. It is located approximately 6 miles northwest of the Tilapia discovery. Dr. Bino said his department will employ international best practices in managing this resource, and the monies that will be derived will give Guyanese the good life that is in keeping with the construct of the Green State Development Strategy. The Noble Tom Madden began drilling the Yellowtail well on March 27, 2019, thereafter drilling the Hammerhead 2 well.
Guyana's oil reserves continued in August 2019 to increase as Tullow Oil PLC struck liquid gold at the Jethro-1 exploration well in the Oranjewk block.
Dr. Bino said that while the find is not as huge as Exxon's, it serves to broaden the nation's petroleum production base. The Jethro-1 well was drilled by the Stena Fort drillship to a total depth of 4,400 meters in approximately 1,350 meters of water. The Jethro-1 is the first discovery on the Oranjewk block and comprises high-quality oil-bearing sandstone reservoirs of lower tertiary age. Commenting on the discovery, Dr. Bino stated, and I quote, "The Department of Energy continues to be encouraged because it does lend to additional revenue flowing to the country to allow it to transform itself from its present state and to put it on a more sustainable development pathway going forward. For the average man, he can expect increased employment opportunities, as the President has already expressed." End of quote.
On September 16, Guyanese woke to news that more oil had been found, pushing the total number of wells to 16.
Dr. Bino, on the morning of the 16th, announced that both Tullow and ExxonMobil have made discoveries of oil in commercial quantities. The finds mark the second for Tullow in the Oranjewk block and the 14th for ExxonMobil in the Stabroek block. The wells were Joe-1 and Triple Tail-1.
Particularly appreciative of the prolific rate at which Guyana has been able to uncover a very valuable resource. These represent the 15th and 16th finds, respectively. What it means for Guyana is that it does demonstrate that the country has substantial oil resources.
The Energy Director noted that while it is too early to determine the number of oil equivalent barrels, Guyana's estimated production has exceeded expectations.
We now have to do further tests to be able to determine potential barrel equivalency before we'll be able to make that projection. But it seems like Guyana is well on the upward trajectory to be way beyond the 6.5 billion as we go forward.
3 days after the head of state announced first oil, ExxonMobil announced its 15th find in the Stabroek Block, bringing Guyana's number of oil discoveries up to 17. The Mako-1 well encountered approximately 164 feet of a high-quality oil-bearing sandstone reservoir. It was drilled in 5,315 feet of water and is located approximately 6 miles southeast of the Liza field, which began producing oil in December 2019. Tullow Oil plc announced on January 2, 2020, that the Karapa-1 exploration well drilled on the Kanuku license encountered approximately 4 meters of net oil pay based on preliminary interpretation. Liza-1, Liza Deep, Payara, Snook, Turbo, Ranger, Pecora, Longtail-1, Hammerhead-1, Pluma-1, Tilapia-1, Haimara-1, Yellowtail-1, Jethro-1, Joe-1, Tripletail-1, Mako-1, and Karapa-1 are Guyana's 18 oil discoveries to date. Oil production from these wells are expected to yield significant revenue that can create a large number of jobs in the manufacturing of value-added agricultural products and the development of its physical infrastructure, while at the same time delivering quality education for a diverse economy. Guyana already has measures in place for the sale of the first 3 lifts of Guyana's share of its crude. During a media engagement, Director of the Department of Energy, Dr. Mark Bainu, explained that the process was twofold.
The Department of Energy, after careful consideration and advice from its experts and the Public Procurement Commission, has sought to pursue a 2-phase approach aimed at marketing Guyana's crude entitlement.
The short-term phase commenced with focus on setting national benchmarks for selling the country's share of its crude in the future. Crude marketing specialist Virginia Marcusou explained that these companies can help standardize Guyana's crude.
They can help us introduce the grade into the market in a very standard way. This is what we're trying to achieve here. Volatility for the Guyana's Liza new grade is not good. We're trying to create an environment whereby there is standardization and stabilization, not only of the quality of the grade, because at the beginning there are sediments and elements within the produced crude that doesn't stabilize the quality as such, and there are operational considerations as well in terms of the production rates.
The second phase involves the public request for proposals. This is for marketing services for Guyana's crude and is currently in the final stage of preparation. Thanks for watching InfoHub In-Depth. Do join us again next time. Goodbye.
Are you ready to embark on a truly epic adventure to an undiscovered corner of South America, where some of the most spectacular natural attractions are unveiled within a beautifully diverse landscape? From the wetlands and savannas to the ancient mountains, magnificent waterways and lush enriching rainforest would provide a vast playground for some of the most exotic and breathtaking creatures on the planet, including many of the world's giant species. This untouched land of mystery and wonder serves up an exclusive experience for travelers. So are you ready for a new, awe-inspiring adventure? Welcome back to nature. Welcome to Guyana.